Okay, so we're talking about day two. So this starts at slide 10. So it begins day two. Dun, dun, dun. Here's our objective. We're going to test to see how changing the amplitude can affect a wavelength. Your goal is to complete slides 10 through 12 for today with your group. We jump down to slide 12. The directions, what you're first going to do is pause the simulation. Then in the top left box, choose oscillate. Then select no end on the right side. In the bottom box, change it to dampening to none. Select slow motion and then select play. And I'm going to kind of show you what that looks like. Like the directions say, what you're going to do is pause the simulation first. And then what you want to do is in this top left box, we're going to change it to oscillate. And then we also want to change over here in the right corner to no end. So it gives you this like little picture window kind of thing going on. And then finally, as the directions say, we want to change our dampening down to none. Select slow motion. This way you can kind of really see the waves and how they're working. Go and hit play. And then you can watch your simulation that way. And then you can answer the questions for slide. I have to look over here to find it. Oh, what's okay, so now we're on slide 13. The directions say you're going to explore how amplitude affects wavelength. So in order to do this, you're wanting to play the simulation in slow motion, keep all the settings from before, the no end, oscillate, all of that. Give it a pause after a few waves have gone by. So after you see a full couple of crests, go ahead and pause it. Let them pass, let it go through. Sorry, not pause, let it pass. Make sure you check the ruler box. You can grab it and move it so you can measure crest to crest. In order to measure the distances, I recommend you pause it right there because that will help you. So the different amplitudes you're going to test are here. So this is what we're changing in our lab. We're changing the amplitude. The frequency is going to be a constant. That's why I've highlighted it. That's not going to change for this lab. And then the wavelength is the data you're going to write down. This is what we're recording. After you've done that, then we have some analysis questions based on the data you've collected. You're going to answer those. Just a couple fill in the blanks. Little answer here, yes, if you need to explain. And then on slide 15, you're going to identify the independent variable. Remember, independent is what we changed in the lab. What did we manipulate? Dependent is what was the stuff we were writing down? What were the numbers we wrote down and recorded? And then constants were the things that we kept the same for this lab. And then when you graph it, I want you to tell me what kind of slope does this graph have? Does it have a positive slope and it's going up? Does it have a negative slope, so it's going down? Does it have a slope of 0 where it's a flat line, meaning nothing changed? And then you're going to put your graph here. You're going to put a line graph. Make sure you label the x-axis, which is our independent, and the y-axis, which is the dependent. And then when your group gets to slide 16, you're done. You're finished for the day. We get to keep going on. Okay, so for the lab itself, remember you're going to put everything oscillate. I'm going to pause here. We're going to do slow motion, no end. Then you can go and play Let It Go in slow motion. The ruler box is down here. If you check that, you can get your rulers. And notice you can move the ruler up and down to kind of help you find things. As I mentioned before, I would pause it once you have 2 crests for your wave. Then you kind of want to move your ruler. Remember, wavelength is the measurement from the top of a crest to the top of the other crest. So in this case, the wavelength would be 1, 2, 3. It would be 4 centimeters long. For this lab, you're changing the amplitude. So you're actually going to start our amplitude down to 0.6. And the frequency is going to go up to 1.6. And we're not going to change our frequency. It's going to stay the same. Dampening is 0. We're going to go and let that roll it through. Oh, look at that. I've got 2 crests. Okay, so I'm at like, let's say like 0.75, 4.75. So that's still in that 4 range. Then you'll change the amplitude to the next number, which I think is 0.75. And you'll kind of repeat the process. Let a couple of crests go through. See if anything has changed. Record from there. And that's what we're doing in the lab today.